Guys, thank you guys so much for coming down, okay? This is Crash Course Singapore. This is going to be our first ever seminar, okay? Hopefully first in many other seminars. Okay, this is all dependent on today, okay? Depend on how you guys feel about this seminar, okay? So let me just have a brief sensing, okay? Which one of you guys want to go overseas to study? One. Oxford. Cambridge. Come on, Harvard. Yale, no? Why? Come on. I mean, just that little speck. If let's say you guys have a perfect score, everything you guys need, will you guys apply? No. If you guys have the money, everything is there. PSC scholarship, the whole thing. You guys, who will apply? No? No, you guys will go. Right? Alright, okay. Okay, I see a few more. Okay, you guys are probably a little bit more receptive. Okay, so if you guys think about it, it's quite interesting, right? Whenever I pose this question to a lot of people, right? Like, a lot of them, they are feeling a bit reserved about it, and they are not very confident in answering my question. Alright? I have a few reasons why that might be so. I have a few explanations. First is that maybe, they don't want to show their hand. They don't want to show their hand, reveal their hands. The deck of cards, the hands, and maybe they don't want to show the competition. They don't want to reveal the competition, right? They want to be like, okay, I'm gonna apply to Harvard, and that's gonna be a secret. Maybe that's an explanation, possible. Another explanation, I think this is more plausible, that there's a lot of lack of information regarding application to all these kind of schools, right? And also there's a lot of stumbling blocks. Like recently you heard, right, Harvard, right? They discriminate against yellow skin, right? So there's a lot of stumbling blocks, and there's a lot of misinformation, the lack of information to applying to all these schools. But the thing is, it has been done. All right, many people in Singapore has made it to these great institutions. All right, but the fact is, it's very less commonly talked about. No one shares. Once they get admitted to these schools, that's it. You don't hear from them ever again, except for those people who like to boast around, post a few photos here and there. But aside from that, you don't hear the process. You don't really hear like how did they actually get in. There's a lot of knowledge being lost in the process. All right, and if let's say we can offer all this information for all of you guys to apply to any school, be it local, be it overseas, any school that you guys want. All right, if we can offer all that information, every single step of the way, we're gonna outline it to you. And we're going to share some stories about how is life like in maybe all these schools, how is life like as a doctor. If you can share with you guys, what do you guys think? Good? Sounds good? For free also. Sounds good, right? Alright, and that's exactly what Crash Course Singapore aims to do. Alright, some mission. Can see? Mission statement and vision statement, okay? So, very simply, what we hope to do in Crash Course Singapore, very simple, to provide a platform for educational and scholastic advice from the experienced to the enthused, okay? So we have a lot of seniors out there who have achieved great things, but you don't hear from them the secrets and the formulas to their success. There's a lot of information being lost, and what we aim to do in Crash Course Singapore is to retain these seniors before they fly off, all right, and ask them to share with all of you guys. I mean, I look at him, he seems very interested. Right, anything? You want to apply to which school?
Because you said then okay, it sounds good.
Sounds good, right? It sounds like a really good deal, right? So it's kind of like a TED Talk thing, except that this is gonna be, TED Talk costs, how much it costs to attend? You can't actually buy a seat there. You have to be invited, right? But over here, it's free, right? And we give it to you guys, and we provide this platform for all the sharing, right? From the experienced to the enthused, to those people who are interested, to those people who have just that inkling, right? And obviously our vision, right, our goal, education to inspire for students who aspire. The main goal that we are trying to achieve here is provide a platform for seniors to share with their juniors, all right, some of the wisdom that they have. All right? Two things that we want to do, all right? First, academic subject-based crash courses, something like this, general paper crash course. All right, a lot of people, they don't really understand how to get an A for GP. A lot of them, they just roll the dice, thinking that, study 2 weeks of GP, they can get an A. All right, it's a dream. All right, it's a dream for a reason, and I'll explain. All right, so first, what we will be doing, what we hope to do, is to have more of these kind of seminars, be it economics, be it physics. All right, we don't want to do content-based sharing. We want to do skills-based sharing. All right, sharing with you guys the tips and tricks to scoring that A, that elusive A. Okay, that's one of the things that we hope to do. The next thing that we hope to do is non-academic sharing. Okay, university applications to Harvard, MIT, Yale, Princeton. Yes, it's achievable. People have done it. My batchmate is now in Harvard enjoying the time of his life. All right, my batchmate, another one, is in Yale right now, also enjoying the time of his life. And a lot of Rafflesians, right, and also Hwa Chong students, right? I mean, they are, in Oxford, Cambridge, studying all that prestigious things, But the thing is, you don't really know how they get there. And that is exactly what we hope to do, to have this kind of sharing. And also scholarships. How do you get a PSD scholarship? I mean, obviously, there's definitely a limit, but if you guys had the information, wouldn't that increase your chance of getting that scholarship that you guys really hope to get, right? And also sharing about life abroad. This is just a side thing. But the main thing is, we want to share about how to get there. Okay, we want to share how to get there. Okay, and this is why we need your help. The main thing is we need your help to make all this possible. So if you guys want to stay connected, if we are going to have future seminars, okay, we're going to be posting on Crash Course Singapore Instagram. So follow this page and you guys will be the first to know and first to sign up. Okay? Ken? Alright, without any further ado, let me just explain a bit about myself. Journal paper, alright, MJ's journal paper. So my name is MJ. MJ's journal paper is my journal paper. Okay, so I'm going to be sharing with you guys a lot of tips and tricks about, for today, I'm going to share with you guys tips on how to get the technique right. Okay, how to write a good essay. A lot of people, they don't know, and they just think that, with content, and with 2 weeks of studying for general paper, they can get an A. But you know what, that's never going to happen, okay? So you can connect, or you can stay connected with me on MJ's journal paper Instagram. And also I have an online thing, mjsjournalpaper.com. I'll explain that later. Okay, but for now, a few things I want to achieve today. Alright, the content we'll be covering today is very simple. Logical reasoning and argument formation. Alright, I mentioned this in the registration link also. Alright, a few things. Now I'm just going to lay it all out. Dissection of question, writing of introduction, content, paragraph, and conclusion. Although I squeezed this into 1 point, but this is very content heavy. And finally, time management. This is the gem, okay? Not the JAM, not the JEM, but the GEM, okay? This is the gold that you guys are here today. This is the thing that I need to share with you guys. But you know what? All things must be saved to the good things must be saved to the last. Okay, so let's begin. Logical reasoning and argument formation. Who here has a really decent journal paper result? Ace. I know the academic director has an A.
I didn't even take GP though. Oops.
Okay, he takes KI, but he's a really smart cookie over there. Who got A for GP? No one. B. Wonderful. One hand. C. D. Okay, I'm not gonna mention the rest. Okay, so how about you? Come. What's your name? Ashwin. Okay, come share with you guys. Share with everyone. How do you write an essay? What's in your essay?
Like intro, then like four body background, then like two thesis and two like counter.
Two theses.
Like two like supporting point and two counter and two
Okay.
counter.
Okay, interesting. Let me just write that down. Counterpoint, huh? Okay. Okay, what do you write? Two what?
Like supporting.
Two supporting. And
And then after that it follows like two counter.
okay, two counter. So counter and rebuttal.
Yeah, then you
Okay, how much do you get for your GP essays?
like 32 or like
32. Wonderful. 32 marks. Okay. Who fails GP? Okay, come. How do you write your essay? How do you write? Don't worry, just share. Everyone can learn from each other. Come. Same. Something's wrong here. Okay, you know something's wrong. Exactly the same. Okay, let's find. Okay, you guys. One of you, come. 3 supporting, 1 counter. Okay, and 1 counter. Okay, I'm just gonna scribble. What's your mark? 27. Okay. Just to share with you guys, okay, I started off GP with a very bad result also. Okay, I only got my high marks in J2. This is the kind of results I was getting in J1. Okay? This is the kind of results I was getting in J1. This is also the kind of sorry, it's not bad. How much are you getting? So 27 lah. 26 you? 25, okay. So we have a record over here, right? Anyone got lower than 25? Okay, you beat your own record. How do you write your essay? How do you got lower than 25, right, for your essay? How do you write your essay? Okay, guys, listen. He writes 1 counter and 1 rebuttal and a few content paragraphs. I want you guys to take note, okay? Everybody has this thing. Okay, everybody so far has this thing. Counter rebuttal. Okay? Just take note. Everybody so far, 32, 27, 25 has this kind of writing style. Why do you guys write counter and rebuttal? Because the GP teacher says, right? Because the GP teacher says so. Write counter rebuttal. Okay? And the GP teacher says so, and they give you this kind of marks. Does it make sense? That if a teacher tells you you should be doing this, yet they grade it so low? Does it make sense? So there's something wrong, right? There's something really wrong here, right? If a teacher tells you to do this, yet they mark it down, something is definitely wrong, right? Either with their marking rubrics or the way they are teaching. Okay? I don't want to slam them anymore. I just tell you what's the marks I'm getting. In J2, CT2, I got a 36. High? Not really lah. It's not very high lah. Okay? It's not very high. I deproved in my prelims. I deproved. I got a 35. So, quite a nervous wreck lah. Okay, it's really bad. Casual flexing over here. Alright? And I can tell you, the reason why I got all these has nothing to do with that. I don't do that. Okay? I'll explain why. Okay? Logical reasoning and argument formation. Come, let's do a very simple thing over here. You guys may think that I'm trying to flex over here, right? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do actually. I am trying to flex. Okay? Let's do a very, very simple exercise over here. Do you guys know what apples are? You guys know what apples are? Kind of, right? Interesting. Okay, are apples good? Let's just give this one question. Very simplified. There's no way to simplify this any further. Any other ways to simplify this? No? Great. Then let's keep this question. Alright, keep it as simple as possible to explain to you guys what exactly logical reasoning and argument formation is. So, let's say that Cambridge decide to set this question. It will never happen in a million years. Alright? How would you convince them? In general, what you guys think about apples? Good? Bad? Good, right? There are only 2 sides to take, alright? Are apples good? Yes. They are good. Bagus. No, not good. Okay? Only 2 sides to take. How simple can a question get? Not much simpler than this, alright? So, if let's say you were to take yes, they are good, and you tell Cambridge, yes, apples are good, are they gonna accept your word for it? Are they gonna take your word for it? Are they just gonna be like, yes, since you say apples are good, I'm gonna give you 50 out of 50, yes, apples are good. Are they gonna take your word for it? No, right? Clearly not. Okay? So, if you say this and they don't agree and they don't take your word for it, what then should you be doing? What should you be doing? Evidence? Straight to evidence? Maybe not. Explain. Come up with some points. In what ways are apples good? Right? So let's start off with that. Okay. So What's the first thing that you guys can think about when you think of apples? Like, what are the benefits of apples? Come, quick. This is a very, very simple exercise. Come on. Healthy. Okay? Let's just give this simple. Okay, so apples are healthy. If you just say that, yes, apples are good because apples are healthy, Cambridge, would they accept? No, right? Clearly not. Why? There's a lot of gap in between. Come, can you explain? Nutrition, okay? So they contain vitamins. And vitamins, what? Vitamins are healthy. What's the link here? What's the logical link here? Come on. It is logic and reasoning. It's logical, it's common sense. Come on. Good for your body in what way? Come on. Good for your body is exactly the same as this, right? Vitamins, what? Okay? Immune system. Okay? So you give your immune system an upgrade, and therefore your body becomes healthier. Now, is this logical? Very logical, right? Now, if you tell Cambridge, hey, apples are good because they contain vitamins, and vitamins are good for your immune system, and with a better immune system, you become healthier. Will they take your word for it? Will they take your word for it? You're nodding over here. Will they take your word for it? What's your name? Meng Te, okay? Meng Te, MT. Okay? Do you have a doctor in front of you?
No.
Do you have a PhD?
No.
Let's see. Do you have a diploma?
Why are you asking this question? Obviously no.
No, right? What makes you think that they're going to accept your word for it? Are you a research scientist? No. What have you achieved? Some sports CCA achievements here and there, right? A bit of A's here and there, B's here and there. But aside from that, how do you prove? There's absolutely no credibility under your name to make all these assumptions. These are called assumptions. If let's say I change this term apples, xenophyllin. Okay, come. Xenophyllin contains vitamins that boost your immune system and therefore it's healthy. It doesn't make any more sense, right? Because you guys have absolutely no idea what this thing is. I just made that word up. Okay? I just made that word up. Okay? So the thing is, what I'm trying to prove over here is that you guys have no credibility in making this statement. Right? So if you think that this is the end of the story, you're wrong. Alright? You're wrong. What do you need to do next? What do you need to do next? To convince them. Since your name, MT, holds no water in saying this kind of assumptions. Apples contain vitamins. No one's going to believe you. So now what do you need to do to convince Cambridge? Evidence. So let's say Harvard studies. Harvard, right? Harvard study. And give a year. Okay? 2012. Let's say 2012. Why don't I give 1969? A study conducted in 1969. Why? Okay? It's not updated. Okay? For all you know, back then when they are conducting this kind of slicing thing, they were using their jam cutter, right? So maybe some peanut butter got onto it, and therefore they cannot ascertain that apples contain vitamin. For all you know, it's from the peanut butter, right? Main thing is you need to have updated, very relevant and current examples. All right, so that's one. All right, apples contain vitamin. Now Harvard study, you backed it up. What's next? Should you do the same for the rest? Should you do the same for the rest? Vitamins helps your immune system. MT. And you say this. Will anybody believe you? No. Okay? What do you need to do next? Same thing. Let's just say Princeton. Okay, just throwing some big names around. Princeton. Okay, let's just say Princeton. And this immune system therefore gives you a healthy body. In what sense, right? Same thing. Back it up with evidence. And now, you make this claim. You make this very logical reasoning here. You backed it up each and every step of the way. You back it up with evidence. And now you tell Cambridge, therefore apples are good. Will they believe you? Right now what you have is a very strong point over here. You notice how I use this evidence, right? The way that I use the evidence is not part of my explanation. Okay? Evidence is not part of my explanation. All it does is to back it up. All it does is to back up my claims over here. Okay? What's the format that everybody uses? Writing of paragraph. What's the thing teacher teach you guys in schools? What's the formula for writing content paragraph? PEL. Do you guys use this? You guys use this, okay? So that kind of marks PEL. Maybe there's a link. I don't use that. I hate that. This is absolutely pointless, meaningless, illogical. Okay? You have your point, and then you give what? Evidence, right? Elaboration, okay? Then you give some evidence, and then you give some link. Okay? Do they explain which step comes first? In a paragraph, yes, you're supposed to have PEL. But this is not a logical formula. This is not the right way to understand how to write a paragraph. This is logical, right? This is logical, right? You now have confirmed that apples are healthy and therefore they are good, right? And you substantiated each and every step of the way with evidence. This is the right way to think of writing a paragraph, not PEL, right? Nothing. Just because you write PEL doesn't mean you're convincing. Okay? I'll elaborate on this more. Does this make sense so far? Any questions? Does this make sense so far? Is this logical? Let me just give you guys one more example. What other benefits does Apple have? No? Good in taste. Nice. So just because it has good taste, it's good? Is this the end point? So what is good in taste? Satisfaction. And what's in between? Sweet. Is this now more logical? Is this more logical? Apples gives you satisfaction, therefore it is good. But in between, what's the explanation? Apples are sweet. And sweet is a good taste. And good taste gives you satisfaction. Logical now? Is this logical? Alright, this is called logical reasoning. And now, argument formation. This is what I call an argument. This is logical. And now, will they believe just because you say all this? Make all these claims? Same thing. Cambridge will not take your word for it. All you can do is to think of something logical and back it up. Now same thing. Back it up with evidence. Harvard, Princeton, Yale, NUS, NTU, research studies. This, have you guys learned something new already? Wonderful. Alright, class dismissed. Okay, this is logical reasoning, and this is what you're supposed to be doing, right? Not the whole chunk of PEL, like you're not peeling a banana. We're not eating any fruits over here. The topic of discussion is apples, not bananas. Don't use this. This is what you're supposed to be thinking of, right? So now let's think of one more point. Alright, it fills your stomach, blah, blah, blah. And if you back it up, what do you have now essentially? 1, 2, 3. What do you have essentially right now? 3 very solid and convincing points, right? 3 very solid and convincing points. Understand? And isn't this, if you have all these, is it good enough to convince that, yes, apples are good? Cambridge will now accept. They'll be like, yes, this guy is pretty smart, right? Studied so much, and everything is all logical, everything is all backed up, substantiated. Is there any way Cambridge can penetrate your train of thoughts? Any way they can refute your arguments? Can they say that no, apples do not contain vitamins? They can't. Harvard said that it does. There is this thing. Harvard, I mean, everyone can agree, right? A lot of credibility in there. Now let's say Cambridge wants to attack this chain of this link over here. Vitamins help your immune system. Can they do that? No. Princeton backed it up. Now they can have an inter-school kind of debate, whatever. But the thing is, it's impossible now. Well, not impossible, but it's now more difficult for them to break down your train of thought, to break down your logical argument, to break down your reasoning, right? And if you have done this throughout your entire 3 paragraphs, since there's no way that they can tackle and tear down your arguments, will they now believe you? Will they now believe you? Yeah. They will believe you that apples are good. Alright? But there's another thing that Cambridge wants you to do. Okay, so let's just imagine this is writing an essay. Right? That you are trying to convince what you're trying to do essentially is to convince the marker, the Cambridge marker, this train of thought. You come up with your own stance that apples are good, and then you give this and convince them that apples are good. Am I making sense here? I'm making sense here? You guys are awfully quiet. Did I say something wrong? No? Okay? So if this makes sense, alright, there's one more thing that Cambridge wants you to do. That's called maturity of thought. If you can only give all these benefits, what does it say about you? That you're very narrow-minded. That you can't think out of this box. You can't think out of this perspective. That all you can do is just accept it word for word. That's not very smart. It's not very attractive in a student, right? MOE wants what? Holistic education, all that fancy stuff, right? So, if you want to be holistic, why not do it in your essay? So, they want you to be able to think of the other side of the argument also. Okay? No, it is not good. What things can you think about? Why are apples not good? Okay, too much sugar. Okay, how about let's go with something like let's say that it is not good because they are not good in taste. Can you make this argument? Should you be making this argument, guys? Come on, it's a nod or a shake of your head. Should you be writing this? Why? You are contradicting your point over here. A lot of people, what they do is that they contradict their points. What does this look like? What does this kind of argument format look like? What does it look like? Does it look a bit like this? Does this make sense? You give a really solid point over here, and next you flip a page and you think, you know what, I'm going to tear it down systematically, a point that I've worked so hard to build upon. Does this make sense? This bears a lot of parallel and similarities to the rebuttal and counter style of writing, right? You agree with me, right? That you are building yourself up just to shoot yourself down. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Bear that in mind, okay? Let's just hold that thought. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Now let's say, why is it not good? Come with so let's just find, first, this is healthy. So health benefits. Next one, satisfaction, so can lead to SOL, right? So healthy, okay. So, I mean, it's a bit different, right? It's a bit different. So now let's think of another thing. Another direction, come from another direction, okay? Why is it not good? There's 2 ways that you can write an opposing side. I always teach my students this. There's 2 ways that you can do this. First, condition. Do you understand what I'm saying? Condition. If you guys nod your head, please share, because it shouldn't make sense on its own. First, condition. Write it down or whatever. Second, okay, new point, okay, new theme altogether. Okay, you think of a completely new theme, a completely different point, unrelated to all these. I'll explain this in a bit, okay? So condition, what do I mean by condition? If let's say you eat one apple, can you get all these benefits? Can? Okay, you eat sufficient apples. Can you get all these benefits? Can, right? Okay, like 2, 3 apples. But let's say you eat 100 in a 1 hour sitting. Would that give you any benefits? Why? Indigestion, health problems, overeating, obesity, nausea, whatnot, right? So, no, it's not good, right? Too much apples, what can this lead to? Okay, give all the logical points. Is this good? Okay, I'm telling you, this is acceptable. Okay, this is acceptable. You give a condition when none of this will be true anymore. Right now, if you guys write too much apples will therefore not give you any benefits, are you contradicting yourself over there? Are you contradicting yourself over there? No. Right? Are you shooting yourself in the foot? Right? You're no longer doing that. So is this a good point on its own? Yes. This will stand on its own, and it's good because you are able to think. You as a thinker, critical thinking student, right, have the faculty to be able to think of, hey, you know what, if I eat too much, right, that's no longer good. That's pretty attractive in a student, right? You're able to accept the merits of all these. Don't shoot yourself in the foot, and you're able to think of scenarios where, you know, the benefits will no longer be there. This is acceptable, and this is what I mean by condition. Okay? A new theme. Okay? What do I mean by a new theme? Okay? For some reason now, okay? Apples lead to environmental damage. It's a whole new point. Does this make sense? Is this acceptable? Am I contradicting myself in the front earlier? No, I'm not contradicting myself. Right? Environmental damage. Aside from the fact that this is not, no way in heaven this is true, but if, let's say, I were to be able to substantiate, if I could substantiate, and I write this paragraph, will this be accepted? Yes. This is what I mean by a whole new theme. You guys know what Sperm's model is? Sperm's model, right? Environment, social, some other stuff, right? Thinking of a whole new theme. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Okay? This is how you can write without contradicting yourself. What teachers are preaching is that you shoot yourself in the foot. Let's think of it, okay? Let's do some mathematics over here. It's good to prove yourself with some solid math, okay? So let's say how much time you guys spend writing one paragraph, usually? 10, 15 minutes? 15 minutes, right? So let's say 15 minutes you're writing your counter, and then you spend another 15 minutes to write your rebuttal. What have you done? You essentially wasted 15 minutes of your time for absolutely nothing. You could have just gone straight to your point, right? Why do you need to set up this thing for yourself? What are you trying to prove? Right? If you write down a counter and then suddenly you rebut it, you're saying that, hey, you know what, apples are great in taste. Then next paragraph you write, however, in actuality, it's not that great in taste. It's pretty retarded, right? This is what students are doing. And this is the reason why, maybe not this lah, this is pretty good marks lah, but maybe that's why you're getting this kind of marks. Okay? Do I make sense here? Am I making sense here? Okay? You guys want to snap a photo before I... No, don't need. Or can internalize? Okay, great. Any questions so far? Questions so far? No? Okay. Now let's give an example, alright? Are apples good? Alright, I'm very comfortable with the topic politics. Okay? It's my favorite topic for some reason. Let's see, let's give a question. Is voting good? Bears a lot of resemblance to that, right? It bears a lot of resemblance. This will never come out. It's too easy a question. Alright, but just for simplicity's sake, I want to prove a point. Is voting good? Alright? How would you convince me that voting is good? What are two sides of arguments you can take? Yes and no, right? Very simple. Okay? So if it's yes and it's no, how would you convince me that yes, voting is good? Who's familiar with politics here? No one. That's pretty sad. You? No? I'm pretty sure you know. Okay, you. Come. Why is voting good? Are apples good? Banana. Freedom to what? Okay, so apples are good because you have the freedom to apples. Okay, interesting. Okay, so freedom to choose what? Representative, right? Okay, so you can just give all the explanations. So let me just give you guys, there's a lot of merits to voting. Main thing is you want to choose something that you're very comfortable with. Alright, let me just write down this thing that I have. Okay, so voting can lead to a better government. Is that a good point to go with? Alright, voting can lead to a good government. Okay. But the thing is, there's a lot of missing links in here. Right? A lot of missing links. Fill it all up. Okay? I want to fill it all up. First, voting gives the power to the people. Who goes to Indigo Tuition Center? You. Okay, hopefully I don't sound a lot like Samuel Lim. Okay? And giving the power to the people allows for check and balances. You probably this wouldn't make a lot of sense lah. Check and balance. And with check and balance, what can you do? Ousting of corrupt regimes. Make sense? And with the ousting of corrupt regimes, can give you a better government. Logical? Logical? Alright? So one way that you can give examples, right, that I just mentioned just now, you can fill up each and every one of the gap. This is very facts and figures kind of writing. Okay? This is one very good way to write and very good way to, prove a point. But there's another way that I like to do even more. With one example, you capture the entire idea. With one example, you capture the entire idea. Okay? What do I mean by that? How do you do that? So, let's say, you all know Najib Razak? Najib Razak, no? You all should be familiar. Huh? If you guys don't know, honestly, you're not ready for A-levels. Okay? Najib Razak. Okay, what did he do? So, with the ability to vote, alright, you can explain. Okay, now you can throw in that banana part, right? Explain, okay? Democracy. Throw a little bit, okay? Throw some words here and there. Define a bit in the next few parts. Define a bit, right? And now, Malaysia has democracy, and the democracy has given the people power to vote, serving as check and balance on the government, incumbent government, which is Najib Razak's regime. And because he was found guilty of embezzling how much money? US $700 million. Just one guy in his bank account, $700 million US. Alright? Corrupt, right? It's obviously corrupt regime. And therefore, what have they done? What happened in 2018? They voted him out. Alright? They voted him out. For who? Mahathir. And what do you mean with a better government? Mahathir. So what? Since Mahathir came on, but does it mean it's a good government? Explain. It is a good government, not for Singaporeans, but for Malaysians. Why? He stirred up a lot of stuff. Tuas, water agreement, what else? Airstrip. A lot of issues he stirred up with Singapore. But what did he do? He fought for the Malaysians. Is this how you spell Malaysians? Right? So he fought for the Malaysians, for the interest of the Malaysians. Okay? And this one example, you've captured every single idea over here. Solid? Makes sense, right? Cambridge is more likely to believe this is probably true. Understand? But you know what? It's not enough. What if this is a one-off? What if this is a one-off? Proof that it's not a one-off. Okay? You all know who is Dilma Rousseff? You guys know who that is? Jesus. Okay? Dilma Rousseff. Okay? Dilma Rousseff. Every single thing is fulfilled. Okay? Just take my word for it. Yes, this example proves my point. Now let's give another example. Park Geun-hye. Corruption scandal. You guys know who this is? South Korean. Right? Write it down. And if every one of these examples substantiate this point, can Cambridge now say that this is not true? They're unlikely to say so, because you have so many points that corroborates with your point, that corroborates with your topic sentence. This is what I call a good topic sentence. In one sentence, you capture the idea of the entire paragraph. This is what a good topic sentence is. This is what you should be doing in one sentence. Alright, obviously you gotta do a bit of changes, edits here and there. But the thing is, you know what? I'll teach you guys how to do that. Seems impossible, right? Seems impossible to be like you're on the spot during examination timing, coming up with something that makes sense, logical. I'll tell you guys what's the key, how to do this. Understand? And with 3 examples over here, will Cambridge now believe you? But you know what? I get a 36 for a reason. Okay? I want to prove to Cambridge that, you know what? This is not all that I have. I have even more points. Singapore general election. Okay, Singapore general election, 2011. What was the results? Record low, 60.1. Academics director, am I correct? 60.1. Okay? Singapore government, PAP, got the lowest result, 60.1. Why? The people are not happy with whatever that they are doing. Right? So they're not happy with whatever they are doing. What did they do? What did the PAP do? They gave, the 2013, they gave like what, pioneer package, this and that, housing quota, cooling measures, a lot of this stuff. Right? And what happened in 2015? Their votes went up. 69.9% of votes. So explain. With the power to vote, check and balance, right? Not ousting corrupt regimes, but something similar. They're not happy with the government, right? And what did Singapore do? So they went to the ballots, right, and casted their votes, right, and to tell the government that they're not happy, right, serving as check and balance, right, and it became a good government. It became a better government that fights for the people, and that's exactly what happened. In 2015, we saw that the results went up, and this is a very good example, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many examples you guys give per paragraph? 2, you? 2, you? 1. How much did he get? 25, right? Okay. Just take that in mind, huh? Keep that in mind. Okay, I'm not trying to target you, but 4 examples. Will Cambridge now believe me? They better believe me. They better believe me. Okay? There's no way they can refute this anymore. This is exactly what you should be doing. Right? This is exactly what you should be doing for essay writing, right? This is one paragraph. Sorry? I take away all these examples. Does this make sense? It makes sense, right? So? Explain. Democracy give power to the people and they can serve as check. Okay, what is example driven? Let me ask you. What is an example driven essay? More than 50% of essays. Who told you that? That's your assumption. Okay. The thing is, teachers don't explain what example-driven essays are. They just throw around words here and there. They throw peel around. They throw counter-rebuttal around. They have no idea what is going on. All right? They don't know what's going on, and they say that, you know what, this might be example-driven. But what is an example-driven essay? It is when your point cannot stand on its own, and it's just hinged on one example. So, what do I mean by that? You just take one Najib Razak example. Example driven, listen, it's example driven. It's not called examples driven. Because if you have 4 points, 4 examples that shows the same point that you've outlined over here, it's not called example driven. It's called a convincing point that makes sense in so many instances. Example driven is when you have only one example. All right, let's say you give a question about should females, gender equality, something about gender equality. Should gender equality be achieved today? And you say, yes, gender equality should be achieved today because the current pay grades are uneven. And you just give one stat and figure and say that in this country, in that country, and that country, you know, uneven. Is that a logical point? Have you answered the question? Okay? If the question asks you, should we do something about gender equality? You need to explain. Alright? But how do I explain? By giving something that's logical. But example-driven essay just goes and say, yes, we should do something because pay grade is unequal. And you give some quotes. And you think that you're doing a very wonderful job, right? By giving a few stats and figures that in Singapore, in da. But is this really a reason why? So what if it's unequal? Understand what I'm saying? You're not answering the question, and all you're doing is just writing a point that is based on stats. This is called example driven. Okay? But over here, if I were to remove every single thing over here, yes, voting is good because it gives the power to the people and hence they can serve as check and balance to oust corrupt governments, which can then give them a better chance of having a good government in replacement. Logical, everything is explained well. But over here, should we do something about gender equality? Yes, because we should do something because currently the pay grade between male and female are unequal. Which makes more sense? Which you've explained more? How do you even explain this? There's no more link here anymore. Understand? But what would a better point be? Yes, we should do something because currently there are many inequality, many aspects of male and female life that are unequal, resulting in what? Resentment, resulting in social instability. Make sense now? And then you quote, what exactly is unequal? You can give one aspect, pay. Second aspect, what? Treatment. Right? And now is it example driven anymore? No, because you are using the pay as an example to show that it is unequal. Pay is an example. And if you use that example as a topic sentence, that is an example-driven essay. Is this clear? Okay, so really, clarify. You should, if you have any problems, right, with whatever I'm saying over here, ask. Okay, I mean, we can only have some good discussion if you ask this kind of question. So, am I making sense? Do I make sense? Okay, and now if you take a look at is voting good, I had one paragraph over here. I give 4 examples that show my point, that proves my point. All right, it shows me that, it shows the Cambridge marker that, hey, you know what, this cookie is brilliant. This guy has a good noggin full of information to share. And you know what, this is a very interesting point. And you just explain all these bit by bit, bit by bit. And this will give you a very logical paragraph, logical topic sentence, all right? And this argument formation, make sense or not? Okay? This is what you guys should be doing, not PEL. Okay? Questions? No? Okay, if that's the case, you know what? I don't even need a slide for this. Dissection of question. Let me just move on to the dissection of question. So for this, no questions, right? You guys understand what exactly I mean by logical reasoning? All right. So some things that I want to that I've debunked, right, is the counter rebuttal style. Why does counter rebuttal? Maybe you want to just share with the class. Why? Share with this seminar why counter rebuttal shouldn't be used. Share. What have you learned? Is shooting yourself in the foot. Very concisely summarized. Okay? And what should you be doing instead? Okay? Main thing is actually the condition. Main thing is you just don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. Okay? Just come up with a new point, a new perspective altogether. And that's exactly what you should be doing. Okay? Let me just erase this board. So, back to this. Dissection of question. It's very important for you guys to learn how to dissect the question. What do you guys do when you all receive the question paper? What do you guys do? Okay, choose a question lah. Choose a question lah. Okay, I'll teach you guys how to choose a question later. But main thing. So now that you, let's assume that you have chosen a question. Okay. Very simple question. Competition. Okay, I don't inspire all. Competition. Is competition ever desirable? Simple question, right? Again, it will never come out. But just for purpose of this, I'll dissect this question. So, I like to use frameworks. Not PEL. PEL is rubbish. Okay? TIAKT. How do you turn on this? Do you guys know how to do projector? Okay. TIAKT. I like to use this format. What do I mean by this? And why do you need to dissect a question? Okay? This is a very simple question. Very, very simple question. But if let's say I use something that's a little bit more complicated. Do I have any examples? Never mind. I'll go through that later. Okay? If we have something more complicated, a lot of variables here and there, you guys are going to get thrown off guard. And you guys are going to start writing essays that are going to get 25. Because why? You don't understand the question. Alright? One word of advice, right? General paper, paper 1 is one of the shortest papers in Cambridge examinations. Aside from art. I think art is shorter than that. But you know what? We don't take art. Okay? We take general paper. It's one of the shortest. Okay? What do I mean by that? There's only so many words that they need to type. Only 12 questions that they need to set. And they spend one whole year thinking of the question, thinking of how to set the question. Right? It's a very easy job. And yes, they do it very well. Okay? One paper, there's no edits whatsoever every single time the paper is distributed, right? Like your teacher go up there and say, guys, please flip to this page and this question, please amend this question. Right? General paper will never have that. If you guys have that, Cambridge, they need to reevaluate themselves. Okay? Main thing is they will never have that scenario. What does that mean? every single word in the question, okay, just imagine this like multiply by 3 lah, okay? Every single word in that question is there for a reason, okay? It's not like school teachers where they have only like 2 months to think of one question. That's why you guys don't really get very good questions, but Cambridge spends an entire year. Every single word up there is put there for a reason, and you must tackle it. And therefore, it's very important to dissect the question. Okay? Alright, so how do you dissect a question? So first, you need to understand what's the topic over here. In this, very simple, competition. Right? I'm giving you guys very simple examples for you guys to understand. But when you guys are out there doing an essay, right, definitely you might think that this is rubbish lah, okay? But when you guys have a very long question, then your brain will start to move and you guys will be like, okay, is this the topic or is this the topic? What exactly is the topic? Is the main overarching subject that you're discussing about over here, competition. Okay? You are evaluating competition, and that is the topic. And the issue over here, I like to use the golden question. Why? Why is this the golden question? Why the golden question? Interesting. Okay, why is this the golden question? In every single one of your paragraph, is competition ever desirable? What are the 2 sides that you can take? Huh? You guys don't know? Have I been wasting my time? What's the 2 sides that you can take? Yes and no. Okay? Now ask yourself, why? Okay? This is the question every single one of your paragraph must answer. Break it down for yourself. Ask yourself the question, why? Now elaborate on the question, why what? Why is competition ever desirable? And why is it not? It really, what I'm going through over here, right, may sound very redundant because honestly this is a very easy question. Okay? But if it were to be a more difficult question, a bit more variables here and there, you guys will be confused when you guys are writing, and therefore it's important, just write it down for yourself. This is the question you must answer. Why is competition ever desirable? And why is it not ever desirable? Understand? This is the main thing that you need to be able to answer. Okay? You need to ask yourself this question. Very important. Okay? Assumption. What's the assumption in this question? Are there any assumptions made by the Cambridge marker? No? That's why I say every word is important. Ever. What does this tell you? That there's a bit of skepticism. That the Cambridge marker is starting from the basis that competition is actually not desirable. They're starting off from that basis. Okay? That competition is not desirable. Is competition ever desirable? So this is the assumption that Cambridge marker is making. Okay? And then they're trying to say that, hey, you know what? They have some skepticism about whether is it. Okay? So now let's change the question. Competition is never desirable. The assumption here will be that it's an absolute term. Okay? Absolute term. But why exactly is this important? Why? Okay? It's important in your introduction. I'll explain that later. It's extremely important for you to, main thing about essay is to impress the Cambridge marker. Alright? And if you're able to think from the point of view of the question setter, you're able to understand that, hey, you know what? I know what's the assumption. I know where you're coming from. That shows you a lot about the writer itself. That shows a lot about the writer. And that is how you can get very, very high marks. By starting from the, start to think from the point of view of the Cambridge marker. So, main thing is understand what's the assumption in here. Moving on. Keywords. Why is it important for keywords? Okay, this is one keyword. This is another keyword. Okay, what do I want to do here? I want to give myself synonyms. Whenever you receive the question paper and you find your question, immediately list down every single synonym you can come up with. Competition, rivalry, conflict, skirmish, all these kind of words immediately pop to your head. Desirable. How do you evaluate desirable? This thing is called setting your yardsticks. Setting your yardstick. What do you mean by desirable? Beneficial. Advantageous. All these words come in. Why do you want to do that? It's because when you're writing the essay, how do you get the language marks? How many marks is language marks? 20. And how do you show that you have the language marks? How do you show you have the higher band of the language marks? By giving yourself all these synonyms. This is how to boost your language marks. And why do you write it in the very start? If you guys think that you're writing the essay and suddenly some magical words can pop out of your head, alright, then maybe you guys should be teaching this instead. Okay? When you guys are writing your essay, half of the time, if you guys do not do any planning, do not write down all this stuff, half your mind will be thinking about what to write now, half the time you'll be thinking about what words to use next. Is it very effective? Not very effective use of your brain, right? So how about let's leave all the synonyms, all the word searching to the very start. And now you can focus on building your points. And when you need a synonym, it's a dictionary right there for yourself already. You understand what I'm saying? So you can just pluck and chuck. Pluck and chuck. Interesting. Okay? So pluck and chuck. Okay? So this is why you need to write down all the keywords. First, to score your language marks. Why right in the start? Because you want to focus on writing your point and you don't want to be distracted. And themes, okay? You guys know what themes SPERM's model is, right? You guys know what SPERM's model is? What's this thing? Okay? Do you need me to go through? Anyone need me to go through? No? Don't need? Okay, can. Great, wonderful. Why do you need these themes? What in the world is SPERM's model used for? What's this for? Okay, you know what? Social, political, economic, environment, race, religion, moral, military, science and tech. Why do you need all these? Why? Okay, if you guys have no points to think about, you don't have any idea, ask yourself. Social. Any part of aspect of social, in social aspect, right? Is there competition? Yes, there is, right? A lot of social, right? Let's say race and religion. Okay? Any conflict in here? Any conflict you guys can think about that's race and religion related? Hey, no ideas. Okay, I have a lot of political examples now, okay? Palestine versus Israel. Heard of this? Right? What's this whole thing hinged upon? Conflict between race and religion. Another example. What are they conflicting upon? Competition over land. Rivalry over land. Right. See? By giving yourself some synonyms. Competition, rivalry, contention. You can think of this one. You're just thinking maybe competition is just related to business, right? Like Samsung, Apple, right? And that's exactly why you should have started with the synonyms. Right? What synonyms can you think of for competition? Rivalry, right? Isn't this rivalry? Understand? You give yourself a wider yardstick by coming out of synonyms. You can think of a lot more points over here. Race and religion, Palestine versus Israel. Now another point over here. What else can you think of? How to spell Myanmar? Like that, right? Yeah, Myanmar. Okay? Who? Muslims and Buddhists. Now, in this conflict, has competition been desirable? Has it been advantageous? A lot of people die, they shoot rockets at each other. Is that good? Rocket League? No. Right? It's not good because there has been loss of lives. Now here, Muslim Buddhists. Killing of Muslim, right? Massacre of Muslim. Right? Rohingya crisis. Understand? So now, haven't you already given yourself a point? Just by using the SPERM's model, thinking of race and religion, asking yourself, race and religion, any conflict in here? Yes. Giving yourself examples and asking yourself, is this now a good answer? You understand what I'm saying? You can use Sperm's model. This is how to use Sperm's model. Do you guys know this is the right way to use Sperm's model? How do you guys use Sperm's model? Or it's just a vague idea there that sperms exist, not just in... I shall not continue. Okay? Understand? This is how you use... Now ask yourself politics. Conflict. Examples? Plenty out there. Okay? Not economic. Samsung, Apple. Has it been beneficial? Why? Has it been beneficial? Yes. Why? Pushes for innovation. Pushes for innovation, and you can also give Nokia competition. Alright? Giving rise to creative destruction. Okay, this is some H3 stuff lah. Okay? Creative destruction. So, coming out of new ideas. Okay? This is how you use Sperm's model. And this is exactly what Teams is for. Ask yourself the Sperm's model. Ask yourself in which of this aspect of the question does the question apply? Which aspect of the Sperm's model does the question have any application? Understand? Is it clear what dissection of question is? You guys probably think, what the hell, why do I need to dissect a question? Just answer lah, right? This is exactly why I use it. Okay? Any questions? I'll get to why this is important later lah. Okay? You guys need a break? You guys need a break? Yes.